Hello, welcome to the Kidney Kitchen. Today we're going to be cooking a Mediterranean meze feast. So this is 4 different dishes. There's a babaganoush, there's a hummus, a tzatziki, and what I call a Greek-ish salad. It's sort of inspired by Greece, but I can't claim it's completely authentic. To start off with, we're going to make the babaganoush, which is made out of aubergines. We're going to cook these at a really high temperature in your oven. So I've ramped up my oven to the highest it goes. In this case, that's 220 degrees centigrade. I'm going to pop them in for about 30 to 40 minutes. You want the skin to be getting really nice and blackened and charred, and the insides will be getting soft and melty. So I'm going to pop those in the oven right now. Now, for our next step, we're going to make some tzatziki. I have halved a cucumber in vertically, scooped out all the seeds and grated it nice and coarsely, but then we want to get rid of all this excess water because cucumbers contain a lot of water. So I'm going to tip it into the sieve and leave it to drain for a good 30 minutes. You can already see some of the liquid coming out. Giving it a little push will help it along a bit. So now I'm just going to leave that for about half an hour to let the rest of that liquid drain out. So now I'm going to make the hummus. I've got some chickpeas, 1 can of them. I've drained them, given them a good rinse in the sieve, and then drained them again thoroughly because the whole taste of the liquid in the tin isn't very nice. I'm going to pop these chickpeas into this receptacle here in order to blitz them. And to that I'm going to add about a tablespoon full of tahini, which is a sesame seed paste. And I'm going to just peel and then kind of bash to crush these garlic cloves. I've said 1 garlic clove, which is optional. These 2 are absolutely tiny, which is why they sort of add up to 1. You don't need to chop them finely because we're going to blitz all that, but I just get the side of my knife and the heel of my hand and just go like that. Okay, now I'm going to put these in with the chickpeas. And then next we're going to put in the juice of the lemon and the zest of the lemon as well. Then we need just a little bit of tepid water. We don't want it to be too cold, but you don't want boiling either. This is just to loosen it up and to help it mix better when I blitz it. Now, I'm going to blitz it up with my hand blender. You can also do this in a Magimix. Now I'm going to add a tiny bit more water just to loosen it up a bit and blitz it a tiny bit more. There we go. That is now the consistency I want, so I can take the stick blender out. Now, a little bit of black pepper for seasoning. And we are good to go. Stir that black pepper in and pop it into a bowl. Now, to finish this off, we're going to do a little drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of paprika, which is optional, but it does look beautiful and the flavour's lovely. And a little sprinkling of paprika, and then that is our hummus finished and ready. So here are my aubergines. They've cooked for about 35-40 minutes. They are, as you can see, nice and black on the outside and gone really wrinkly. That's as the moisture's getting cooked out of them, which is just how we want them. So what I now need to do is let them cool before I scrape out the insides. Now that the cucumber has been sitting for a while, you'll see even more of that liquid has come out of it. And you want it as dry as possible because you don't want to make the tzatziki all wet and runny. So I'll give it a little helping hand by squeezing some more out. I think that's all we're going to get. And I'm going to tip this into this bowl here. And then add into it the Greek yogurt. I like Greek yogurt because it's really lovely and thick. Then I've got some garlic here. Now you can use a garlic crusher like this if you don't want to do it by hand with a knife. And finally, the chopped mint. Give all this a good mix, then transfer it to a serving dish. Now, you don't have to finish it off with a bit of sumac, but it does add a lovely bit of colour and a little piquancy, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that over. And then we're done. So, my aubergines have now cooled and I can handle them without burning my fingers. So just easing the flesh out with my thumbs, and popping the skins to one side. So that flesh has got a lovely smoky flavour from being cooked and it's soft, but I'm just going to chop it up before popping it in the sieve to drain. Now I'm going to put it in the sieve to drain all that excess liquid out. Ideally, you should leave it for about 30 minutes. If you're in a bit of a rush, you can always give it a bit of a press down with your hands or a spoon, like so, to help the process along a bit. Like with the tzatziki, it's something we don't want to be too runny or watery. You want maximum flavour and a nice texture to it. So I'll leave those there. Now I've got some tahini and I'm going to mix that with the lemon juice. About a couple of tablespoons of tahini. This one's fairly runny. Some of them you'll find are really thick. You want to mix these together. Now I'm going to put this in the big bowl here. Now, put in about 2/3 of the chopped herbs. Here I've got mint. You could use parsley as well. And then I'm going to finely chop this clove of garlic. Now, when that's nice and finely chopped, I'm going to pop it into the bowl as well. And now, giving a final mash to that aubergine, just to really break it all up and get rid of the last bit of juice. I'm going to pop this into the bowl. And then mix it all together. Going to pop a little bit of black pepper in. Give it a final mix. And then pop it into a serving bowl. And then sprinkle over these last chopped herbs. So for the final step, we're going to make the Greek-ish salad. I say Greek-ish because it's got a lot of the components you'd expect, like the tomatoes, cucumber, but no things like olives or feta just because of the salt content. But there's so many delicious flavours going on that I think this will really add a lovely fresh crunch to the whole feast. What I have here for the dressing is some freshly squeezed lemon juice and some olive oil with a bit of ground black pepper in. I've quartered the cherry tomatoes. I cut the cucumber vertically in half and then with a teaspoon scraped out the seeds in the middle. This means that the seeds are the watery bit, and it just means that the salad will be less watery because of it. And then I've finely sliced the spring onions, which I trimmed and cleaned first. And then in here we've got a couple of handfuls of just fresh salad leaves. So I'm going to pop my cucumber, tomato and spring onions in with the salad leaves, and then dress it with this lemon juice and extra virgin olive oil. And now just going to toss it all together. So this is our Mediterranean meze feast all laid out. We've got the babaganoush here, the hummus, the tzatziki, some toasted flatbreads and my Greek-ish salad. So it just remains to invite Laura, our dietitian, to come and taste it with me. Hi, Laura.
Hi. Lovely summery flavours.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just
Like
sort of
a
wanted to
holiday.
have something that you just want to eat on a really lovely hot day, and you can make, so much of it in advance and just bring it out, and yeah, makes me sort of think of holidays.
I think it's great, and I think most people wouldn't have thought of making it from scratch before, but it's relatively simple.
It's really
and
easy
so much lower in salt.
Yeah, it absolutely is much healthier doing it this way.
Yeah, I guess you could make sort of just one dish if you preferred one, or
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think this is
as a sort
definitely
of
something
snack.
that you share with friends and family, and it's nice being able to graze and have a little bit of everything.
yeah, no, it looks lovely.
Do you want to try some?
See if I can tidily put some on my plate. They're nice colours, aren't they?
And there's so many herbs in this, and lemon juice and lots of fresh flavours. Here we go, let me pass you some of
Well,
that.
thank you. So we haven't labelled this as a low potassium dish because things like tahini and aubergines are quite high in potassium. But I guess if somebody wanted a very small amount as something to try over the context of sort of a lower potassium intake in a day, then that's an option for them. But we probably just would advise them to be a bit moderate on how much they had.
Yeah.
So better have a bit of salad with it as well, a bit of extra colour. I can smell it now. I sort of started dishing it up. It smells really lovely.
I smell the lemon, and it's definitely worth using like a nice extra virgin olive oil for this dressing. It does give a lovely grassy flavour to it.
Excellent. I think hummus is one of my favourites.
Is it?
You could also have some leftovers, couldn't you, in a sandwich or
Oh gosh, yeah.
with the meal. Definitely the lemon comes through.
And the garlic that's in there, I mean, it can be quite a personal thing. So if people don't want to add the garlic or want to add less, they can, of course, leave it out or just put a bit less in there.
Yeah.
I quite like it though.
We should be sat outside, shouldn't we?